All right, welcome back to another episode of Comic X
Weeb.
That's right. This is a special episode. It's our 20th episode of ComicXWeeb. That's right, 20 episodes.
20.
And I am your co-host, James, aka Comics for Cheap, aka why McGregor throw that kick though? And I got my co-host with me here.
It's your boy Chris, aka Black Santa, aka Taskmaster, aka Super Cold Water.
Damn,
it is good to be back. Oh my god,
it is good to be back. We've had some issues the last couple of weeks. It was a different day because of work schedules. I mean, between the both of us, our schedules have been hectic. And you still have a hectic schedule going on even today. But you decided, fuck all that. We're going to do this podcast anyway. And because that's what we do here at ComicXWeeb. For those of you who don't know, this is a podcast where we talk about everything pop culture, but mostly comic books, movies, and anime. Hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already. Smash it. Yeah. And let's just go ahead and get started with this week's shenanigans because we have a bit to talk about. What do you want to start with, Chris? You want to start with the sports? That's what we were talking about a little bit before we went live here. You want to talk about some sportsy stuff? Yeah,
we can talk about Conor and his fight.
Okay, yeah. So Conor McGregor had his fight. He went and apparently broke his ankle/shin bone area, and it was pretty nasty. So I was saying that for me, like I like a good fight. I like it when they scrum it out and everything. You know, hockey player growing up, I love a good battle. But even I was a little skirmish seeing a snapped leg like that. But you, however, you're all for it.
Yeah, not saying I'm for the man getting hurt. Don't get me wrong. I said this, said, "Yay!"
He's over here. Yeah, he's over here rooting for a broken leg.
But I was like, yay, leg snap. I watched so many of those situations, even in the NBA where guys have those gruesome leg injuries. But to me, it's just like, I need to see it. Like, I need to see it. And it doesn't like affect me in a way of like, oh man, that's nasty. It's like, neat. As well as like, oh, that sucks that he suffered that injury. Because this is another loss for Conor. And you can say, well, the leg injury was the reason why it happened, but still, that's still another loss. Like,
when's the last time that he's won?
3 in a row? It's definitely 2 in a row.
I think it is 3 in a row. I think this is 3 losses. Yeah. So Conor hasn't won in like a couple years now, right? I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a while since he's won.
It's been long enough that he shouldn't be talking as much shit as he talks. Let's agree on that. But the dude was still paid $20 million to break his leg. Would you break your leg for $20 million, Chris?
Yeah.
Just no hesitation.
No hesitation.
Yeah.
Yep. Clean bone, clean snap. Yep, no problem. Let me get paid.
Cool. Yeah, well, I know it would be it'd be one of those things where like, yeah, it's gonna suck for a couple months, but $20 million is $20 million.
They're like, we might have to cut off your leg. Well, I have enough money to probably get maybe a robotic leg. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a leg that has a machine gun attached to it.
Exactly. Exactly. So you know what? It's worth it. I'll be fine. Trust me. I'll be okay. Just let the check clear.
Let the check clear first before you break my leg, please.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that this is a fake out.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's lost the last
I don't even get paid.
2 or 3. Do you think he's going to come back after this? I mean, honestly,
here's the thing. Dana White said when Conor takes his surgery and he's healed and healthy, that Conor said this isn't over. And then Dana said shortly afterwards, after when he was getting his interview, Dana said, soon as Conor's ready to go, they'll do the rematch. So
they're
already gearing up for the rematch when Conor's
he's like 35?
Actually, Conor's 32.
32, okay.
I looked at I was kind of shocked because I thought he was older.
Yeah, I knew he was close to our age, but I didn't know exactly how old he was. But 30, okay, so 32. I'd say a broken leg is going to take at least 6 to 8 months with the top rehab people that I'm sure he can afford.
Right.
And then to get back, that's just rehab on a leg. And then you got to get back into fighting shape. I mean, it's going to be another year before we see Conor. And then at that point, if he loses again in a year, I think then it's for sure over.
And it could, and then you got to also remember too. So let's say Conor heals, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the guy he's fought name. I don't know why. I remembered it earlier. I'm just forgetting his name. But that guy has a fight for the championship now for winning this fight. So if he goes on to win the championship, you also have to look at, this is not on Conor's time. This will eventually be on his time, because depending on how long it takes Conor to heal, the fight might not happen next year if this dude, or at least it could be later next year. It can be the year after. It could be 2 years from now, because if this guy has a fight scheduled, he's going to have to prepare for that fight. So it's going to be hard to tell.
And then why would he want to refight him? Like, he won. I wouldn't refight him. I'd be like, bro, I'm sorry, I beat you.
this was technically their grudge match, because Conor, I think Conor lost the first time they fought, and then the second time Conor like destroyed him in like a couple of minutes, and then this was the third fight and Conor lost. Gotcha. And then both guys felt a little. At first, the other guy was like, "I'll beat him. I don't want to hear anything." But then later on, apparently, he was like, "Yeah, I kind of feel weird about this. I don't know how I feel now because of what happened. It's hard for me to. I guess maybe it's hard.
It's good sportsmanship. So yeah,
right. So and Conor's just like, this ain't over. Conor was
he's still talking shit, bro. This man can't help himself,
like,
bro. He cannot help himself. Like, that's like the one thing I will say. Conor McGregor can hit media and everything like that, because he just can't help himself for talking shit when he has no business talking shit. Like, what are you gonna do? Fight him from a stretcher? Like, come on, dude. You're getting wheeled out.
Yeah,
he's gonna get into
wheel my butt in that ring and let's go.
A wheelchair fight in MMA. What in the world?
I was gonna say, we make it fair. You talk about sportsmanship, you get on a stretcher and we fight stretcher versus stretcher. It's a fair fight.
I would love to see them both on wheelchairs and then fighting like Rock'em Sock'em, like the fucking robots. Like, that's it. They gotta fight each other from a fucking wheelchair.
And see who head flies off. Yeah. I'm game.
Oh man, we start betting on that one.
That might actually be the most brutal fight in the history of UFC, though, because if it's just nothing but clean, it's just straight to the face. Oh my God, blood, teeth, and Conor's alcohol all over the place.
It may have to be a subdivision of our Walmart parking lot fights that we were talking about earlier in our podcasts.
Yeah, that's right, man. Bro, those Walmart parking lot fights.
To warm up the Walmart parking lot fight, we had a wheelchair fight. Oh my God, we get canceled so fast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know how I felt. I mean, Conor, like, I feel like he's a little overrated. Just to begin with, I think he's a good fighter. He'd obviously kick my ass, and even right now with a broken leg. But as a fighter in the MMA, I've never been super impressed. But maybe like once, like in his heat of like knockouts and everything, I just thought he's gotten a little lucky, and he talks a lot of shit. That's just my personal opinion, though. I think he's very overpaid as well, because $20 million coming off of 2 losses. That's a lot. That's a big check, for someone who's not cashing those punches in. And now he's on a 3rd loss, or however many losses that he's got, and he's going to come back, and I'm sure he's going to get paid probably another $20 million for the next one, if not more. I mean, if he's fighting the same guy and they're going to hype up the battle again. I don't know. That's just my personal.
And at the time too, then it's going to be even more money.
Yeah, which is cool. Make your money, man. But like, I think he's just slightly overrated. I think there are hungrier fighters out there that are more willing to put in the work and do and fight. I think that aren't getting paid as well. So that's just my personal opinion.
Here's my only quick argument to that is that when you look at Conor, you got to also look at what he did for the sport. You can make an argument outside of maybe John Jones, and you gotta still give Ronda her respect too, at least for the women's division. But in terms of the overall, Conor might have done more. Now, I do think, obviously, John Jones is probably the greatest UFC fighter. Like, he's looked at as the guy, the best. He's looked at as on a whole nother level, even way better than Conor. And I think this is Conor's overall 6th loss, too. I think he's lost a total of 6 times now. But anyway, Conor, though, might be, in terms of getting people to watch, might be the reason why, because his trash talking, the way he promoted the sport and promoted himself, always got people in there to watch. Wanted to see him win or mainly get his butt whooped. Right. But he still got people watching more than probably anybody else, even guys who might be better than him. He got people watching. He got the attention on the sport. And I think he deserved his money for that aspect, because if there wasn't a Conor McGregor, I don't think UFC would be as big as it is right now. Okay. Because of what he did. And when Conor left and when Conor was gone, UFC kind of went down a little bit. You didn't have that personality to continue to carry and boost up that sport. Where honestly, when Conor's around, it lightens everything up. Like, it's like, oh man, Conor McGregor's there. He still has that mystique. As of for now, because again, if you keep losing, you're going to lose that mystique. But he still currently has it. So, or at least he had it. I'm not for sure how his mystique is after the loss, but I'm just saying, like, when Conor shows up, it's like in WWE and wrestling, when Brock Lesnar shows up, it's like, oh crap, Brock is here. Like, the whole demand, like, everything changes. Everybody wants to see what's going to happen. And when Conor shows up, you got to admit, like, name another fight that you would have talked about on the podcast if it wasn't Conor.
That's true. That's fair.
So that's what I'm saying. For that aspect, at least, he gets the casual fans in too, where the hardcore fans are for their guys, but he brings it more casual. So I think he deserves his money. And of course, you never said he was a bad fighter. He's a great fighter.
No, he's a great fighter. Yeah.
So I just give Conor his respect and his flowers on that. The dude is really great at doing what he do. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, there you go. So that's a little bit of sports. I think there was some other stuff though going on in sports. Oh, we had the soccer thing going on. Italy beating out England in soccer, and then there was like a riot or some. Of course, there was riot. There was like some racial shit going down. I didn't get to read the whole story about what happened there. I don't know if you did, but there was like the British Prime Minister had to fucking come out and say some stuff because it was getting that bad. So
dang.
I mean, with soccer, dude, like they treat it like a damn religion. They go fucking crazy over that. I've never understood like how insane that they go, but they really do. They go insane. They lose their minds and trash a whole city. So of course they do.
Exactly. A whole city will get destroyed for that. But that's how crazy it is. Like, obviously, football and basketball is loved in America, and you know, basketball has its international fame too. But nothing beats soccer when it comes to international. Like, soccer is all over the world wide
encompassed. Yeah, exactly.
And loved
pretty much everywhere but the United States, and then you know the United States cares what Olympics and World Cup. That's about it.
That's about it. That's literally it.
Like the rest of the world,
can we go beat them?
It's like church. They're for that shit for real. Yeah. So that was kind of crazy. We had some crazy stuff in the news about airlines, which worries me, being with all the flights that I've been taking recently. One woman on an American Airlines flight tried to open up the emergency door mid-flight. She was like freaking out over who knows what happened. She was spazzing out, and then she goes to try to open the emergency door, was tackled and restrained by flight attendants, zip-tied, and then duct taped to her chair. Now, only reason I bring up this story.
She freaked out that much?
Yeah. And then she tried to bite the flight attendants too, so they duct taped her mouth shut.
Makes sense.
Alexis was telling me about this story because she's like, man, with all these flights that you're taking, like, I'm surprised nothing like this has happened to you. I was like, thank God.
She was like, what?
thank fucking God, because I mean, okay. So then she was like, well, I think this is too much. Like it was an overreaction, is what she's saying. by American Airlines to duct tape her to the chair and then duct tape her mouth shut. That it was like she was
no, it's
treated
not.
subhuman. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, fuck no. She just tried to kill everybody on that fucking flight. That's how I look at it. That's attempted murder. Because if you open that door, I mean, we've all seen what happened. You go flying out the thing because of the pressure and everything. So the whole, whether you're seatbelted in or not, the oxygen masks are going to come down, and then you may fly out that fucking thing. Kids for sure are going to fly out.
I'll be the first to go, but that's what's going to happen.
So in my eyes, that's attempted murder, and you should 100% be subdued. You're lucky, like the air marshal didn't come and shoot your ass, kind of thing. Like that's especially like in a post 9/11 world, where we're still getting charged the 9/11 fee every time you buy a ticket. I don't know if you knew that. I looked at that the other day. Last time I bought a ticket, I was like, what in the world, taxes? And then it was like 9/11 fee. I was like, really? We're still paying 9/11 fee? But at the same time, it's like, but these people are on there for the safety. And I don't see any problem with duct taping her to the chair.
I see no problem at all.
Yeah, I'm 100%. So there was like a huge mixed reaction online about, whether or not that was humane or not. And I was like, fuck her.
I'm like, see, that's another thing where it's just like honest to God, where I really worry about society when it's just like, oh, that's so humane. That's so this. This lady was trying to open.
Yeah.
Like if she, like you said, if she opens that up, she opens the emergency door. Like the flight attendants who are standing there, they're dead.
Yep.
Some of the chairs are gonna break. So much damage can happen. It's a huge possibility the plane's just gonna end up eventually going down and everybody's gonna die. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh my God, they've tied her down and kept her from harming others and herself.
Yes.
No, that's not humane. That was nice. Mm-hmm. Honestly, if it was up to me, she would have died that day. Because
that's what I'm saying. Like, she's lucky that she wasn't capped.
Yeah. like if I was in charge, I'd be like, no, you just. What was her reason? Did they ever say why she freaked out?
I don't think I got a reason. There was some people saying that she was possibly mentally ill. Other people saying that she had like a psychotic break, possibly from drugs. I'm not exactly sure what if they've even given a full definite reason yet. Either way, if she's mentally ill, she shouldn't be traveling by herself on a plane. And if she's doing all sorts of drugs, then you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's just how life is. I don't see any issue. I don't know why it's even like a discussion of whether or not it was okay to do that. It was because Alexis was getting heated. She was like, "This is not okay. This is not." I was like, "Bro, if it was on your flight, would you rather her be duct taped to a chair and you be alive, or her not be duct taped to a chair and possibly everyone flying out of the plane or the plane crashing like you were saying?"
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure if she was on that plane and that situation happened, I don't think she would be sitting there complaining that they're tying her down. Because I'm not gonna be. I'm like, we gotta do something because we can't just let this lady just completely continue to flip out like that. You can't sit her back down.
Right. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
All right, calm down. We'll leave it alone. Like, you can't do that because if she has snapped, she's gonna, like you said, she started biting people.
Right.
So she's going to continue to either try to get to the door or she's going to attack people randomly. She snapped. You got to do something. You can't just let her just chill. You can't put her in timeout and think everything.
All right. Turn around, face the corner, and think about what you did.
Yeah. Don't go to the corner where the actual emergency door is.
Yeah.
Go to that.
Wait. Not that corner. No! Oh, shit.
Now, I do want to say this last part. I did hear that it's a lot harder to actually open those emergency doors than what the movies make it seem now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not meant to be open willy-nilly. I mean, they're supposed to be open, like, in case of a water landing or, like, I guess if you needed to try to jump out, but probably not so much that. Or if you land somewhere where, there's not a thing to come get you and you have to do that inflatable slide thing. So, yeah, they're not meant to just be like a regular-ass door. And you just open it up and push. So, yeah, she got to a point, I think, where she actually, like, hit the lever up or something like that. Ooh. And then, yeah, they tackled her ass. So, that's just fucking crazy. To me, I'd have just been back there watching the movie, like, oh well, I guess we're gonna die today, and just keep watching the movie. I guess today's the day.
Today is the day. Today is the day. All I ask is, James, just transfer the channel information over to me. I will keep the legacy going, brother.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there was something else airline related too besides that, but I don't. Oh, a chick got she wasn't allowed on because of what she was wearing. Was the other thing that happened. Also,
American she wasn't allowed on a plane because of what she was wearing.
Yeah, she was wearing like short shorts. I mean, they were like, it's not like super short or anything. And then I guess a crop top, like whatever, showing her belly. And they didn't let her on. They would not let her on the plane without. And so she rose this huge thing about them not letting her on. I didn't think the outfit was too crazy. It was not like she was, just wearing a bra and panties or something, or going on naked.
I mean, even if she was wearing these super fucking booty shorts, where basically like she's like basically almost wearing a thong.
Dude, and I've seen some weird shit at the airport.
Yeah, I've seen this stuff too. But and she's wearing like this super low cut shirt. What the hell does that have to do with her getting on the plane though?
That's what I'm saying.
Indecency or something? Like, she's not naked. She has clothes on. Why can't they just then tell her to put a coat on or something? Like, what does it matter?
They probably did, and then she said no. It'll be my guess is how it went down, just kind of based off reading, like how she threw a fit and everything. They probably asked her to put something on, and then she said no and threw a fit. But at the same time, like, I've seen, on the last flights on the last year or so, like, I've seen some questionable outfits for sure, and this was not among the questionable ones. So I was just like, this is strange for a news story. I felt like there was more to the story than what was being told. Like, she definitely probably flipped out a lot more than what they were saying. Or obviously from her point of view, since she was the one breaking the story. That's
true.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of whatever. But yeah, so what's that?
Maybe she bit somebody too.
Yeah, maybe if she just put some duct tape around her stomach or something, she would have been all right.
Exactly.
Make a duct tape outfit.
It's the new fashion right there, bro. 2024, the year of the duct tape.
Bro, on my next flight, I don't even know where I'm going, but I'm going to bring some duct tape.
That's right. That's right. You never know, bro. You gotta need it.
Yeah,
they
obviously.
Always say duct tape is one of the most important things to carry with you, right? It definitely in like freaking apocalypse type situations. Always gotta have that duct tape.
Gotta have that duct tape, man.
I start wearing it, bringing it now.
And then there's what's the one that's stronger than duct tape is like the Gorilla Tape.
Yeah,
that black tape is insane. That stuff will like chemically burn you if you put it on your skin. That's intense. That's a pretty strong tape. I'm gonna get that for next time. We'll talk about inhumane. I'm gonna duct tape her mouth shut with the Gorilla Tape.
Oh God! Now that you said that, somehow it's gonna become a fad now, and it's gonna be like something on Twitter where you the Gorilla duct tape test or challenge or whatever.
Yes, you heard it here first, folks. We're doing the Gorilla Tape test or challenge. Hell yeah! It's best if you got like some facial hair. You just put it right across the facial hair. You just rip it right off, baby. That'd be funny if they tore it off and like your lips were attached to the tape too. So it's like now you're just like walking around like this.
Up here looking like freaking Two-Face and everything. Like, oh my God, bro.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. And Two-Face, he eats pussy just like Batman. He's inspired. He buries both his faces in that coochie.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Oh, Lord. All right. Completely venturing off from that. Let's get into some comic book related stuff. So let's talk about Black Widow. Came out. I have not personally seen it. However, a lot of it's been spoiled for me already. So I know you've seen it. Yes.
I have seen it. And I definitely wasn't the biggest fan of the movie overall. I didn't think it was bad or terrible. I just thought at times it wasn't that interesting.
Okay.
it's very interesting because it basically starts off in like 95 with Widow being like a child, and well, obviously spoiler alerts for people who have
spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Black Widow.
I'm not going to like full breakdown of like the movie. I'm just going to bring up certain point of the plot. So like it starts off then and shows stuff, and then the actual movie really takes place in like 2016. So it seems to be right after Civil War.
Okay.
It's right after Civil War.
So it's just a little like side quest thing after Civil War.
This is basically that. This is basically like what was Black Widow doing while other things was happening. This is what she was doing.
Yay!
So this let's just get to the elephant in the room. Taskmaster. They turn Taskmaster. The whole thing comes down to when Widow had an assignment and she was after God, I'm forgetting the bastard's name. It started with a D. When she was after one of the guys, the guy had his child with him, and it was a little girl. And Widow basically thought she killed the kid and him, but the target was mainly him. But she thought the kid was killed too, and it was like, whatever. I'm an assassin. Who cares? So, not saying she didn't completely care, but it was just like, So that girl ends up growing up and becoming Taskmaster.
Okay.
And it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, Tony Masters should have been in the movie. He is Taskmaster and should have been Taskmaster. It shouldn't have been the girl they used to play Taskmaster. Like, it came across as just one of those, like it was more of a feminist decision than an actual plot decision. Because it was one of the most basic bitch type things, too.
Okay.
Like, it was a little girl who thought was killed, and now she's Taskmaster, and it was supposed to be a big surprise and a big shock. It kind of come across as the Mandarin situation in Iron Man 3.
Okay.
Where it was just like, oh, this is supposed to be a big shock moment, even though that one was more of like for laughs, even though it really just pissed people off more than made people laugh.
Sure.
This one was more to be serious, but this also made some people angry. And of course, there's gonna be those people like, "Well, I didn't care." And that's cool, but I kind of did. Like, I rather them just kept it the way it should have been. You don't have to just shoehorn a female to play a male's role, or a male to play a female role, vice versa. You just could have just left the superhero.
There was a female Taskmaster at some point in the comics, if I'm not wrong.
That's cool.
I don't remember. I'm just saying, at least there is an established. Like, they didn't just fucking go ham on whatever.
But Taskmasters, and even to this day, Taskmaster is still Tony Masters.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're gonna introduce him for the Taskmaster for the first time, then it should have just been Tony Masters.
Yes.
I can see they switched the role so many times. Because here's the thing about Taskmaster: he's trained so many people, and like he's so good at what he does. He didn't just train villains. He's trained Captain America. He's trained Wolverine. He's trained Spider-Man. Like, the dude has trained heroes too. He's extremely good at what he does. Yes. So it's one of those things where it's like, and like, he's such a badass villain too. Like, reading a Taskmaster story, if you go back and look at like Avengers late 100s, like 195, 196, obviously his first appearances, and then just kind of stories, even in the Ultimate storyline and Ultimate Taskmaster when he shows up in Spider-Man, is pretty fucking dope. Like, the dude is a beast, period. Like, he's definitely a formidable foe. He's not like, someone you can just one shot and walk away like the next page and he's just, well, whatever. So for him to get the treatment like this, I think is definitely what is making a lot of people angry. I think that just from what I've seen review-wise, there is a big split. No one's saying it's like the greatest movie in the world, and no one's really saying that it's the worst MCU movie. But everyone's just kind of like, it wasn't great. And I think that's it wasn't. And then even with Taskmaster, to me, she just felt like she was just there. She was not the main villain at all. She wasn't whatsoever, not even close. She was just there. Right. And it was just like, oh, Okay.
Just didn't make sense.
You're the side bitch. Like, that's basically what she was. She was just there to be there and like annoy the hell out of you. But you gotta hit it every here and there. Okay, where are we going with this? All right.
Look, I think Chris is saying that he's got a side chick named Taskmaster.
No. So what I'm trying to get to is that I thought Taskmaster's role was going to be a lot more important. Okay. Where honestly,
I think a lot of us did. Yeah,
I think a lot of people did. Where honestly, it really wasn't. Like honestly, you could have took Taskmaster out of that movie and put some other assassin in there, and you would have got the same plot. And that's kind of a problem to me. Where if you could just switch in another assassin, because the only thing is Taskmaster's biggest thing is obviously the abilities, whereas like the memory, being able to this, like he had that as a child, where he was able to just look at something. He can swim by just watching somebody do it. He can even lasso by watching somebody on TV do it. He can just watch somebody do something, and then he can go. And then of course when he got older, he was a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. And when he got older and things popped off, he was given a scientist gave him the super surgeon suit, oh my god,
super soldier serum. Yep, got
super show. Oh my god, super soldier serum. You get what I'm trying to say. They gave him the serum.
They gave him super shoulders, bro. It's okay.
Don't mock me, James.
He's out here looking like Johnny Bravo with the super shoulders.
Yeah, I'm pretty. They gave him the serum. I was about to say her gave him the serum, and then this was the key thing. Obviously, it boosted him, giving him those things. But the whole thing was it was supposed to make it where if he reads something, he's gonna always remember it. Well, it kind of did, but his biggest drawback was it actually made him lose his memory. That's why he lost everything, all his memory. He forgot his wife. He forgot he was a member. He forgot all that stuff. He forgot everything. And it's because of the serum actually did that to him. It had that negative effect on him where it didn't do what it was 100% supposed to. And then you even find out later on.
We got a comment here. Crumbum says, I hated that they turned Taskmaster's power ability to just a tech overlay rather than him having his photographic reflex ability like you were saying.
That too. It was more of like a chip put in the back of her head. But then later on with Taskmaster himself, it was one of those things where it was like when he memorized a fighting stance or somebody's fighting ability, to get that information in his head, he actually loses a piece of his own memory. So that's kind of tragic.
Right.
Like stuff like that is cool and it's awesome. It builds a very interesting character. But you didn't really get any of that in the movie. And this is the first time where he's supposed to really be introduced. And all it is some girl under control of her daddy. And that's what the whole thing is. She's just under control of her daddy. Her powers are literally, like the dude said, are just cybernetic stuff that made him what he is, made her what she is. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you take away what makes the character and add in stupid shit that doesn't actually help?
Right. Yeah, no, it just doesn't make any sense. Especially like you said, if a villain can just be replaced by any nameless person, then it's not a good villain at all. So that's that's disappointing. I mean, I'm still gonna watch the movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course you watch it. It was cool having Red Guard in the movie. That was always cool.
Oh yeah, Red Guardian. Yeah.
Red Guardian in there because I wanted Winter Guard to be in there, but I had seeing more and more of the trailers. I don't know if they actually said it because I didn't read anything leading up to the movie. But just watching more and more of the trailers, I was like, okay, Winter Guard is not going to be in this movie at all. Like they're not going to have that team here whatsoever. And they're not. So it was like, okay. Well, certain members are kind of name dropped, and one is shown, but he doesn't have his powers yet, it seems. So okay. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, oh. Well, that's something.
Did they kind of set up Yelena Belova to be the next Black Widow?
100%. Because she was trained in the Red Room and everything. So she had. It's funny because she even makes fun of Widow's little thing where Widow lands and does her over dramatic stands when she's on the ground when she lands, and she makes fun of that, which is funny. But then she does it later on in the movie.
Oh
So
my
that
god.
was, I will admit, that made me laugh, and it was like, oh, that's funny. And okay, let's just get to the end. Because again, we're going to go back and forth in this movie, different things. But to answer your question completely, at the end of the movie, a few things happen. One, there's a bunch of widows who's been chasing after Black Widow and everybody else, their little family, and they break the stuff that's on them, their little spell. They break the red mist or whatever, and they use the serum that cures all of them. So all of them are good now. Well, good if you want to say. But they're not under control anymore. And at the end of the movie, we have the post-credit scene where your favorite girl from Seinfeld shows up.
Hell yeah.
She shows up, and because
I'm putting together a very special team. Seinfeld. Man, I'm telling you, Kramer's going to show up, man. I'm telling you.
He's going to show up? He's going to show up, right?
Yeah, he's going to show up and get his ass kicked by Sam Wilson.
I was just about to say, I hope he don't say anything that's going to have to make Captain really show up in there and put some work in. You know, our new Captain. I have to show this man anyway. So Widow's sister, who you was talking about earlier, she's at Widow's grave, and the Seinfeld chick shows up, and they're sitting there, and they're talking, and she hands her a paper and her next assignment, and her next assignment is to go after Clint, is to go after Hawkeye, who is being framed for Widow's death. So they're blaming him for her death. So now she's going to go after him. Now, this could mean that she's going to show up in his series. That would be what I'm thinking is going to happen. But it could also mean this could just be for another movie plot later on.
Right.
I'm not really for sure.
Well, probably it's, I think what you said first, that her showing up in the Hawkeye series, maybe even the first thing that Kate Bishop is going to have to take care of in that kind of a scenario. Because I know what Hawkeye is going to be training Kate, right? I think that's the point of the show. Oh, here we go. Ryan says Yelena is confirmed to be in Hawkeye. So there you go.
Okay, and it makes sense because I remember I was wondering what the hell is his villain going to really be. So I guess that can make sense if that's like part of her, like that's the
villain's going to be the new Black Widow then.
It because she's not set up to be completely the new Black Widow. She's basically gonna take the name, it seems, but she's not like officially. She's not brought into the Avengers,
right?
She's not part of any official team or anything. But it does seem
I guess
like
now she's part of
it's like
team.
They're building a team. Like the Seinfeld chick is basically taking over Nick Fury's role. Where that's literally, I know her name, but that's literally what I'm going to call her. I know, but I'm just going to call her Seinfeld.
You're just going to call her Elaine? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So the Seinfeld chick, it seems that she's taking over that role where she's going to be putting her own team together. Because remember, she got U.S. Agent, so now she has girl.
Yelena. Yeah.
Yep. So she's basically putting together this team. It would seem. Maybe Dark Avengers, I don't know, but she seemed to be putting together her own little team. Yeah. But this also would be shocking if things pop off and at the end of the thing, Hawkeye don't convince everybody that, hey, this wasn't like it wasn't mine. Like I didn't kill her.
Right.
Like we know how it was going to end. Like it's pretty simple to figure that out.
Yeah. Especially if Hawkeye is going to be kind of stepping out, which I think he is. I think that he's kind of his role is done and the actor is done. So I think that he's just kind of easing into the background a little bit. So yeah,
he could die.
Yeah, she might kill him.
She might kill him. I can see that happening. She could kill him
because I mean, think about it.
And then she bury him. Widow was buried next to her actual real mother or whatever, because that was one of the big. One of the plot points. Widow always felt, even though she had a family, remember those guys aren't her real blood family, but she still saw them as family, but she still felt abandoned by her actual mom, even though her mom had her situation, but she always looked for her. She kept looking for Widow, but when she died, she looked until she got killed, but she was buried under a tree, and then Widow was apparently, I guess, buried under the tree. How did they get Widow's body?
Yeah, from Vormir.
Yeah, wait, how the hell they get her body? I'm assuming they don't actually got her body, because how did they get her body?
Because Hawkeye didn't come back with it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at one, did he climb all the way down there, pick her body up, and climb all the way back up? So so whatever was buried there, her belongings or whatever, was buried there.
Her belongings.
So I'm just saying, I mean, I gotta do something. What's buried there?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. If they're going to say that she was buried there, that means someone went out to Vormir, somehow collected the body that probably wasn't actually there. Because I think it gets taken by, because the Soul Stone, like the switch, right? The light comes.
Right.
I mean, you didn't see Gamora's body chilling or rotten when Black Widow went over the thing. So.
Right.
But I guess they were back in time. So I don't know. I don't fucking know. Whatever they buried under the tree.
But it's a huge possibility they might bury Clint. They might bury Hawkeye next to Widow. I don't know. They might do that. Then they could all be a happy family buried next to each other under that
Hawkeye
tree.
Versus, I guess I would say Hawkeye is Ronin versus Black Widow. I think that would be a pretty good fight to see. Like,
that's basically what it, I guess that's basically what it, yeah, that would be interesting.
I guess that's what we're going to see in the Hawkeye show. That's probably
what we're going to see.
Because they're pretty evenly matched, I would have to say. I mean,
well, which Widow are we talking about?
Every time. Well, see, in Endgame, he seemed to have like a slight fear towards Black Widow, but like when she shows up and he's Ronin or whatever. But then when they fight to leap, they seem pretty even. She just kind of got the upper hand to leap off of the cliff. But yeah, I don't know if she would be even against. I think they would be pretty even.
And then to be fair, it wasn't like when they was like trying to rush to kill, like to die first. So it wasn't like a fight.
Not like a fight, exactly. Yeah.
It was more of like, I'm gonna get here first type thing. It wasn't like a fight for like the kill.
No. So. Do you think that you think Scarlet not Scarlet, I almost said Scarlet Witch. Do you think Black Widow would take Hawkeye out? Just one-on-one.
Natasha would probably, yeah.
Like in the ring, no like,
and like surprise or anything. If it's a straight out fight to the death, and there's yeah, I think she would win.
Romanov would win.
No, I think Natasha would win. I would probably have more money on Black Widow. It's kind of hard to fully call it, but I would probably say Widow might end up winning because of her training. Okay. She's trained better than he is, in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
So her training would pay a huge, give her a really big advantage.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, we get Yelena in the Hawkeye. I didn't know that was going to happen, so that's exciting.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting because that's the thing with Yelena. Like the whole thing comes down to now she's going to be, I guess, the new Black Widow. But I'm just wondering, is Scarlett Johansson completely finished with the role?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah,
because we got to remember this movie was supposed to come out 2 years ago.
It was supposed to come out before. Cap and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, before the shows for sure. Like before any of the shows, it was supposed. I'm pretty sure like at least a year, maybe even 2 years ago, it was supposed to come out. And then
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was supposed to come out before that. It was supposed to come out before that. That's why that end credit scene would have been a little more. It would have made. It still makes sense, luckily, considering how things ended in Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier. But it still would have made more sense if the movie came out before the series did, because that would have been the first time she was supposed to be really introduced. The Seinfeld chick was supposed to be introduced. Instead, it ended up being her being introduced in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay. So you think that she's putting together the Dark Avengers? Because there's been a debate
it seems that she's putting together a team. It's just we know that
a team.
Right.
For sure.
We just know that the new, Yola, or they're basically the new.
Thanks, G. He said it was supposed to come out May 2020.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. So we know that like it's just the new Black Widow. I guess we'll just call her for now. Um, I would be really shocked if she's in the Hawkeye series and it ends with her still thinking that Hawkeye is the one who killed killed Natasha. That'd be kind of weird. So I'm assuming that at the end of the day, she's gonna find out that, oh, you didn't do it, and then it's like, oh, you're not the enemy. So I don't know why she would still join the team of the person who set her on this mission, unless you know the Seinfeld chick is just completely super manipulative. It's just yep. That's I'm looking for a reason to say it. Unless she's super manipulative and she's just able to convince her that, hey, no, I didn't know. I'm angry too. That's why I'm putting this team together and we can stop. Yeah, you know, maybe she'll
do you think the buck ends with her, with Contessa or the Seinfeld chick? Do you think it's really her, or do you think there's money and power behind her?
I hope it's somebody higher than her.
Norman Osborn, baby. That's what I think it is. Cool. I really think it's Norman behind her. And then if that's the case, it's definitely Dark Avengers. If it's either Zemo or Thunderbolt Ross, obviously then we're going with the Thunderbolts team and not Dark Avengers. But then but who knows, man? Like that's the main debate, is if it's going to be Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts. Some people are saying it's going to be a completely different thing altogether.
Could be.
I mean, it's still too early to really know right now, but it's exciting to get a little piece together. I'm glad they're doing a slow burn for it and not just kind of throwing together a team out of nowhere. So that is one thing I will say is kind of good. If the whole movie is to set up Yelena, like, okay, she better have something important down the line, and you know what I mean? Because otherwise, why'd you even release the movie at all? At that point, you should have just scrapped it. Because obviously, they were holding out for ticket sales to try to recoup any of their money back from making the movie. And then, you know, Disney has enough money to just shit gold, so they could have scrapped the movie if they wanted to, or just have released it to Disney Plus when they were supposed, like early, like in December, or whatever, right before the WandaVision. And just called it a day, but they didn't. They waited.
But they didn't.
Yeah,
no.
So
but see, that's also the problem, though, when it comes to the Black Widow character in general. Mm-hmm. Like, I like Black Widow, but there's a reason why she's viewed as one of the lower popular Avengers, and it's because of the fact that she doesn't have any real powers. I mean, if we look at the comic book, obviously she has a great valued version of the super soldier serum, but at the end of the day, it's still, all that really does is make you hit a little bit harder, and you're a little more athletic. And yes, she's trained very well, but there's a ceiling when you're just a little bit of an enhanced human, or you are an enhanced human, but you're still a human compared to like a mutant, or compared to like a god like Thor or Loki. Like, characters who have superpowers are going to always be more interesting, because it's like you can give all these dark, terrible things that happen to her and Natasha, whatever. When you look at the movie, they go into the Red Room and how the training went down and some of the stuff that happened when she was a kid and all the training she went through. And you could say that's kind of sad, but it's just like, well, let's just use another female. Let's just use X-23, for example. Sure. She has a very bad upbringing, too. She was a freaking clone of Wolverine and all this other stuff. Who would you rather see, X-23 or Black Widow?
X-23.
She has powers and is more interesting than just somebody who doesn't have powers. Right. And because there's a ceiling where there's a certain level that you can't go any higher. Right. Where with a person with superpowers, you can keep evolving. Right. So the only way you can evolve Widow is to give her powers, but that defeats the whole purpose.
Because, like, here's the thing. I know the same with Captain America or any other super soldier.
Only difference with Cap is that his leadership and stuff is just on a whole nother level.
He's the leadership.
That makes it more interesting.
He's got a stronger version of the serum, and of course, you know, what the shield gives him a little bit of immunity up to some stuff. Yeah. But to be fair, he could be taken out by a good sniper.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
Yeah.
you can't really take Thor out with a snipe shot.
No.
You can't really take, you know, like you were saying, X-23. You're
Nope.
not going to take her out with a snipe shot. But, you know, Black Widow or Captain America, you could get a guy a mile away who's like whatever, one of the few percent that can do it. And if you wanted to, you never see that shit coming. There's no reaction time to that. No. You just once your helmet's not fucking bulletproof. So and he stopped wearing it after the second movie anyway. Yeah, Black Widow doesn't even wear the helmets.
No.
So I agree with you there that the actual superpowered characters are going to be a little more interesting, and that's why they sell better. I mean, that's why Spider-Man outsells Captain America. That's why. I mean, even to a point where, that's why Batman, even though he don't really have the superpowers, but he's still going to outsell Black Widow because of, you know, the shit that he's got in play, and his cowl probably is bulletproof. Let's be real. And so
no, Batman does have bulletproof stuff there. Like he really does, though. Like he does have bulletproof. His cowl is actually bulletproof. His chest plates, all that stuff is bulletproof. And the thing is, Batman's a much more interesting character too.
Right.
Like he's just way more interesting. And at the end, and then his thing, like even with all the stuff that Black Widow does, even with some of her solo comics, you never see Black Widow as a main character. Mm-hmm. She's like your number 2 and number 3 on a championship basketball team. You're not going to be able to win a championship with her being your number 1 star.
Right.
But with her being a number 2 and number 3, that changes things. Then you have a champion. You still have to have the actor star. You have to have the Michael, the Kobe, and then she can be maybe the Paul or the Scotty or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, Batman is the Michael, the Kobe, or whatever, the LeBron. He's the number 1 guy.
Right.
And he can carry his stuff. Widow, you can't put her and have her carry something like that. It's just like Widow's story is not unique compared to other people. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of other people who've had bad upbringings and training situations where it's very similar. Batman's story, yes, it is like all superheroes have tragedy, but Batman's definitely being first is a lot more unique to what happened to how his parents died and all that stuff and what led to him being and his whole thing of not killing no matter what. Like all that stuff is more unique than what Black Widow has going on.
Right. Yeah.
And that just makes the difference with him not having powers compared to everybody else.
Sure. Definitely.
Plus, let's be honest, if they fought one-on-one, Batman would smoke her.
You just point a gun at her.
Well, Batman's not going to use a gun. Unless it's, Justice League Batman. He's going to blow your brains out.
The bat gun at her. Whatever the bat version of it that he's got, the Batarang. Just take her kneecap out with a Batarang.
Dude, I want to say this real quick. That's what I loved about Batman Beyond the animated series. Like, what made Batman finally retire, and then, like, it took, 10, 15 years before Terry took over as, something else happened and Terry became Batman, the new kid on the block, the high school kid. But anyway, Batman was in a situation, he's trying to save a hostage, and he's older, but, he can still go. But something happens where he's forced to point a gun at a person. He was going to actually shoot the criminal, but the criminal was scared and ran away. And Batman just saw what he became, and he looks at the gun, he throws it down, and you just see it in his face like, I'm done. This shows I can't perform at that level I used to. I'm getting so old now that I had to rely on a gun. And he was going to shoot. If that dude would have kept going, you could tell by the way he was shaking that he was actually going to blow this dude's brain out if he had no choice. Batman, just 10 years ago, he would have never did that. He wouldn't even need to rely on that. He got old and he was like, I'm done. And
it was something like he was out of breath. His heart was going and everything. Like, I love that show, dude. I've been watching through that. That's a classic. I can't get enough of it. But yeah, he just when he was going down, and then when Terry comes in and discovers the Batcave and everything like that, I thought that was really dope. And that was just dope. Like his suit and like the adjustments and everything. I love, and I love his villains. Like he has very unique villains as opposed to Batman's.
Oh my god! Yeah,
which is incredible because Batman has such a crazy rogues gallery as it is. To have it like and equal. I wouldn't say equal in popularity, but equal in like interesting and like
and quality and good. Yeah,
and quality. That Rogues Gallery for Batman Beyond is a feat in and of itself that I feel like is not talked about as much as it should be.
that's what I'm saying. Because like there wasn't one villain in the Batman Beyond series where I was like, oh, that guy completely or he or she completely sucks. I was like, man, she's interesting. He's interesting. This is good stuff.
Yeah,
and they didn't even have to rely on the Joker. Like Joker was a movie.
Bingo.
They didn't have to rely on him being an actual villain in the series. He came in a movie, not in the series. And then the series kept going after the movie. Like, that's freaking amazing to me.
Yeah.
That just shows how much quality they had, where it was like, we don't even have to rely on the Joker. We can have these little guys who are like Joker wannabes, but they do nothing.
Right.
They do nothing. They're just there. And they're trying to live out the legacy, and it makes sense. But we don't have to actually rely on the Joker himself or anybody to actually be the Joker. We don't have to have a Harley Quinn. We don't have to have any of that. This is his own guy. Yes. And that was just amazing.
And I love that. And I think that's why it still holds up so well. I mean, like I said, I've been watching it through again and again. Yeah. Let's see what G says. Gian says, if it was the lady on the plane, he would have pulled the trigger.
Yes.
That's right. And he would have been protecting all of us for that. So
that's right.
Thank you, Batman. All right, so we have the movies coming after Black Widow. Let's just kind of recap what we're expecting next. So we have Shang-Chi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's September.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm very much looking forward to that. We have Eternals, and that's in November. Not so much looking forward to that one.
Not looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to what I'm really hoping it brings to the table at the end. That's what I'm looking forward to. But the movie itself can really care less. Then
we have Spider-Man No Way Home coming out in
December. Of course, looking forward to that, yep.
So that's 3. Is that 3 months? No, it's 3 in a row, like chop. But we got September release, November release, and December release. So that's pretty.
I was just about to ask. They're all this year, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So that's cool. So Spider-Man, and then somewhere in there we have the Sony releases too, right? We have Venom. Coming out.
That's right.
We have Morbius, which has been put on the back burner, but I don't know if it's what
that's not coming out this year, though, right?
I think it was originally supposed to.
It was supposed to, but there's no way they haven't.
We already have a damn trailer for it, which means that it's pretty much. I mean, I don't know the whole production routine, but if they got a trailer for it, they got to be pretty far along, right? So
I would think so.
Let's see. We have Doctor Strange releasing in March of next year.
Okay.
So that'll be coming behind the Spider-Man and everything that's going on there. So even the posters right now are featuring Scarlet Witch too, which is pretty exciting. So that's we're gonna see what's going down there. Then we have Thor: Love and Thunder. That's gonna be in May. Meh.
Yeah, I'm not with that at all.
Meh. We'll see.
Yeah, completely.
Then we have Black Panther 2, which is coming out in next July.
I'm extremely excited for that to see what the hell they're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued.
That's my big thing. Yeah. Intrigue is probably the better word. Yeah.
Then we have the Marvels, or Captain Marvel 2. That's coming out next November.
Cool.
Great.
Yep.
Then we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and that's coming out February of 2023. So that's where we will 100% get Kang. If we don't get Kang this week in the Loki show or some iteration of Kang like Immortus, then we will 100% get Kang in Quantumania.
That's true. That'll be interesting though to wait 2 years before we get him now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was and we got casting room announcement almost a year ago now. So it's like you really casted him 3 years before, and we're not doing anything with him. Okay, sure, Marvel, I believe that.
Yeah.
Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming out in May of 2023. And they're saying that this is going to be James Gunn's best work yet. But of course, why wouldn't they say that? But who knows if it's true or not.
Yeah, I'm not going to believe that whatsoever until I actually see the movie. Because most of the time they say that movie ends up being pretty bad compared to the other stuff.
What I'm most excited about that movie, though, is that it goes that movie, essentially, and then Fantastic Four. So we're kind of a little bit of a cosmic buildup with the movie in between is going to be Blade. Blade is coming out November of 2023.
November of 2023.
That's
Ain't the guy who played Vader like already 47?
Hopefully he's already shot his action scenes because I don't want him blowing out a knee or anything.
That's what I'm saying, bro. His hip gonna fall apart. Any hip replacement? Come on, bro. This dude already an old man. We don't need.
He's gonna try to throw a kick and break his leg like Conor McGregor.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, bro. Get out of bed. He couldn't get to his walker in time, and he's broke his leg.
His walker.
Come on, man. Damn.
Oh shit! Then we get then we get Fantastic Four in December of 2023, and then apparently we get let's see, we get
something after Fantastic Four.
Well, I mean, not for that phase, but Deadpool 3 is out there that's supposed to come out after Fantastic Four, but I don't know how much that's going to be part of the MCU or anything. So that's just kind of one of those. It's still happening. But there you go. That's the 12 movies that are coming out next.
I guess my final question to you on that is, do you think we're going to have to wait 2 whole years for Fantastic Four for us to really know who the big bad is going to be coming up?
I still think it's going to be
Kang.
Who's
the Thanos?
Yeah, I still think for this phase it's going to be Kang. Until I see evidence otherwise that would lead me to believe that it's going to be Doom. But I really don't see them leaping towards Doom so fast. Like, we could build Doom up for another phase or two, or even build up. I mean, I don't think they're going to go the route of Galactus like right away either. So I think it's going to be Kang for the rest of this phase. I think that's
for this phase particularly.
Yes.
So do you think he gets stopped in Fantastic Four then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that he'll get stopped, and then we'll start getting hints of Doom.
Okay.
That's what I think. But I mean, I could be wrong. But that it makes sense to me. Like that would be the progression. Especially again, he's been cast already. Like he has has been dealing with either Guardians of the Galaxy or Fantastic Four. He's got the time travel. He's interdimensional. He's everything like that. It's just all lined up perfectly. So I think that he is going to be like this phase. We've got to remember the first phase's big bad was Loki. Like, it wasn't like a huge fucking character. Thanos was in the background. Thanos was in the background, right? Okay. And Loki was his pawn. But if you're going to think about it, like, who was the real big bad of phase 1 and Avengers? It was Loki. So I think it's going to be Kang is going to be like the big bad of this one. But maybe we find out that he's kind of a pawn. Or not necessarily a pawn, because that kind of debases him a little bit. But like, it's more of a build-up leading into Doctor Doom, I think is
and that's fine. But here's the only difference, though.
Okay.
At least with Loki, he ended up being the big bad that had to be stopped in an Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where with Kang, if he stopped in a Fantastic Four movie, that's more of a solo movie.
It could be Fantastic Four.
So the only way to me, this could be, to me at least, for me to like it, to be a little more interesting, where he's just not the weakest of the big bads, if he has to show up in multiple movies. Like, it just can't be Ant-Man and Fantastic Four.
Right.
Like, he has to have some type of presence in other movies too, where at least he can have something different than the other guys. With all the time travel, all the shenanigans he does, at least he can be like, well, he showed up in different movies and had a big presence in some way, shape, or form. Where at least Loki's main presence was, let's be honest, really in Thor's or whatever, but in the Avengers, which is cool because again, he still got to go against the team. They had to get a team and go against him. That's cool and all.
Sure, yeah.
But it was mainly just that. If this dude only shows up in 2 movies, then he has the weakest build from all of them so far, because that's kind of lame. You showed up in 2 movies in a series.
We got to remember also,
if he shows up next week,
if he shows up this week, that like he can show up in so many different ways. Either Kang,
that's what I'm saying.
Iron Lad, he could come in as like a good guy that maybe turns bad. We have God, what's the other? It starts with an A. No, Scarlet Centurion. Yeah, so I mean, like he could show up for these two, and then they still have to worry about him down the line because, like you said, he's with his time traveling shenanigans. There's really no way to pinpoint just one of them. That's why it makes him such a threat, is because he's a threat throughout time, and he can just be like, I sense a disturbance in the force type of thing. Some shit's going down, and send another version of him out to see what's up. So
that's something he needs to have more of a presence in other movies and not just two, and just be like, well, that was it. And it was like he wasn't even big enough to have a team assembled to actually stop you. You were just stopped by the new guys on the block. Like,
and with Fantastic Four being the culmination of this phase, it's very likely that other heroes are going to show up in Fantastic Four.
But you got to be careful though, because like if Fantastic Four is supposed to be the culmination, then they really need to have the spotlight. You don't want to water them down by having a bunch of other heroes show. You don't want Spider-Man, everybody showing up in the movie, because then it's just like, well, why are we even calling it Fantastic Four?
Right. Well, Spider-Man wants to be in the Fantastic Four so bad.
I know, and I'm saying
he got a hard on for the Fantastic Four.
Where he just shows up at the end. He shows up at the end, and he just knocks on their little base, and he's like, "Hey, can I join?" And they're just like, "No." They just close the door. He's like, "No." He just closed the door in his face. And Spider-Man's like, bull crap. He just swings away. That would be funny as hell to me. I would love to see a scene.
Dude, that'd be hilarious. Dude, like the Avengers don't want me, and the Fantastic Four don't want me. Then we get depressed emo Peter, and he's gonna be dancing in the street. I mean, like, to be real, I mean, that's how it is in the comics. He's rejected by the Fantastic Four in his very first issue when they called him Peter Palmer instead of Peter Parker. And then in the Avengers, he joins the Avengers for all of like 2 issues, I think. And then they're like, nah, we've made an executive decision. We're out of here. We can't do this anymore.
Time for me to leave, sir.
It's not us, it's you.
It's not us, it's you. It's totally not us. It's 100% you. You can leave. Yeah. Oh, man.
Because, I mean, is Spider-Man even... I know he was offered by Tony, but is he, like... I guess he was dubbed an Avenger in
yeah, he was.
Yeah, in Infinity War. They're like, you're an Avenger now. So, yeah, I guess he was an Avenger. I was going to say, if he wasn't, then it would be funny for him to get rejected by the Fantastic Four as well.
They just reject him. It's like, nah, you can leave.
Yeah, Reed's just like...
You wasn't even going to be an Avenger. And Tony was your boy. You can leave.
You will never be Tony Stark.
That's
just have that like echoing around. You will never be Tony Stark.
You just see Mysterio in the background somewhere hiding. You will never be Tony Stark with a loudspeaker and everything.
Mysterio's coming back for sure.
100%. He's not dead.
I don't care what they say. Mysterio's coming back. I don't see any way that he's not on the return for sure.
Oh, man, I will say this before we go though. So Taskmaster doesn't die.
Okay.
Because that was something me and you was talking about years ago. Like, will he? Like, once we heard Taskmaster was going to be in this, it was like, will they kill him? In this case,
So Marvel has just a terrible track record of just killing their villains. Of killing their villains, like, very quickly, almost too quickly. They kill pretty much all of them, I think, except for Loki. Is there? Well, Thanos lasted a while too, but obviously. But any of their like little one movie villains, I can't really think. Well, apparently, fucking Cross is supposed to come back. David Cross is supposed to come back in Quantumania. Yellow Jacket. Yeah. But I thought they killed him. Did they not?
I mean,
no, they put him in the Bug Zapper thing, which was like supposed to be funny. But did he? I guess he didn't die.
Yeah, they could break him out, or I mean, it's a quantum verse, so it could be a different version. They can, or they just break free. I mean,
whatever. I don't know. Ghost is allegedly supposed to be coming back at some point too, but that character has never interested me even in the slightest. So
and you never know. It could just be like flashbacks.
But I don't think they killed her either. So for her to come back, it's like okay, like whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, most of the time they do just have a bad habit of quickly killing off their villain, and
which is never a good decision in the grand scheme of things, because let's be honest, the villains overall are more interesting than the heroes.
Yeah,
like if you look at comics in general, the villains overall are more interesting than the overall heroes.
Well, you can't have a good hero without a good villain.
True.
That's just facts. Story-wise, you just can't have like you could have the craziest, most awesome hero ever, but if he's got some boring ass henchman, like no one's gonna keep reading someone trying to rob a bank 50 times in a row. You know what I mean? It's gotta be something. It's gotta be something interesting.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm with you there. We gotta have some. We gotta keep the villain alive. Maybe she'll give birth to Tony Masters, and then we'll have a real Taskmaster.
She was pregnant the whole time.
All right, that makes it a little more impressive. Okay, she's jumping out of a plane while pregnant.
Right.
That's pretty dope.
Copying freaking Black Panther and everybody. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
you know. She gives birth real quick and then jumps back into the fight.
I'm like, all right, that's impressive. That
Tony
might be
Masters.
the most impressive thing I've seen so far. Okay, that's
Tony
pretty impressive.
Masters, born in the heat of battle. He was really meant for this shit.
And baby Tony, while he's looking at the situation, he stops crying and he's analyzing everything he's seen.
Yeah, you see like little baby Tony Masters trying to like do fight moves and shit.
Yo, we about to get weird here. She's using the umbilical cord.
I'm done. That's fucking hilarious. She
hates somebody with
choking someone out with the umbilical cord. That's disgusting. That's absolutely. I would be like, not only was I defeated by female Taskmaster, this bitch choked me out with a goddamn umbilical cord. That's disgusting. They will never stop talking about you. That'll be on like the Heroes version of the Not Top 10 on Sports Center forever. That's #1 spot forever. You got clowned by female Taskmaster with an umbilical cord.
She's standing there in the background, explosions behind her, and she has somebody hanging with her umbilical cord, and she's just standing there looking all menacingly. What a truck.
Looking like the Hulk bringing Black Bolt to Earth. Like, shit. All right, on that note, you get that picture out of your head. We have a lot of good stuff coming up. I've got a sale/auction going on tomorrow, so that's exciting. We have the final episode of Loki Breakdown going on Thursday, so that's exciting. Of course, you and I will be back on Monday. Always exciting.
I'm also finally getting my video set up for you too, so that's good.
Hell yeah!
It's just because of this stupid work schedule and crap that's been super inconsistent. It has made things difficult.
Yeah. I feel you on that one.
Super inconsistent.
Yeah, so that's some stuff coming up, and I just released a video today talking about a new selling interface called Whatnot and how I feel about it. So that's available for people to watch too.
Yes.
And yeah, I think we're there. You got anything you want to plug?
No, man. I think that's it. Like I said, I'm getting these videos situated, and that's really about it, man. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Well, we will see you guys next Monday at 7. Appreciate you guys watching, and as always, stay villainous and
fuck the Fantastic Four.